So Lauren, Chris from EAB here. I want to ask you a few questions about your upcoming show that we're actually driving to. Okay. What show are you doing right now?
We're on our way to Nickel City Strongest in Buffalo. It's a USS show.
So how long have you been prepping for this show?
12 weeks. full 3 month block. Well, actually, the first 2 months were a strength building block, and then the final month was really more specific prep for this meet.
So more event specific work, you would say, the last month?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. First 2 months really wasn't event specific?
Not really. There was other implements mixed in, and the focus wasn't on the exact events, just building strength overall with squat and deadlift, pressing.
Okay.
So there, some of the events, but not all of them.
Is that how you would typically approach a show, or is this a new way that you approach the show?
This was the first time I've done this, because I do what my coach tells me to do. But since I've got nationals coming up, our emphasis was on, getting stronger generally, to help in the future. Because this show, I'm experienced with most of the implements, so I didn't need 3 month specific training. They're all weights that I can do, so it's not typical, but
okay. And you're feeling pretty confident, huh?
I'm ready.
Right, cool. And this wasn't the typical story kind of when you first started, right? Because you had mentioned that you had a lot of experience in the implements already, and that's why, one of the biggest reasons why you did such non-specific training 2 months leading up to your last final 1 month of training. And how long did it take you to kind of accumulate that level of experience enough to kind of put those implements on hold while you work on your overall strength and form on your main lift?
So, I've been in the sport for 3 years, and I think, going through competing a lot and just getting a lot of experience with different implements, that's really, really important. Because when I started, I had a base level of strength, but so learning all these different skills has been really important. But now that I'm at a point where I've played with most of the toys, if I want to progress, it's really about just getting stronger, just getting statically stronger. Because, and then it's just improving technique a little at a time, because I have experience with the implements. So, now that I'm kind of like intermediate, that's what the building is based off of. It's based off of just getting stronger and not just learning the implements.
So at what point did the implements turn from implements to toys? Because now it's the way you say it, it's more of a fun type of activity.
Yeah. I think that's like it's like a mindset thing to my mindset is that, like, these, a lot of these implements at the beginning are really scary, because they're so unfamiliar, but once, now that I've really learned them and just kind of like embraced them, having a fearless attitude and just having fun with it is really important, just because, a lot of the time with powerlifting and barbell lifts, that, the bar should be part of your body. It's an extension of your body. And so, I try to see that with the strongman implements, that, this isn't like an object I'm fighting against. This is, just part of my body.
You had talked about mindset briefly. You threw that word in there about just kind of how you view the implements as being toys. Can you kind of elaborate a little bit more on kind of what type of mindset that an athlete should have coming into a show and leading up to a show?
I think I think mindset for athletes, it really has to change and evolve over time. Because like you're probably not going to start day one having like the best athletic mindset. If you've done other sports, you might have some of the same kind of attitudes that you can apply. But I think with mindset, it's good to kind of reflect as you're on what your mindset is as you're going through it, and then you can change it if you think the way you're thinking about things isn't working for you. So for, like I said, it changes over time. As a beginners, it's hard to like have the the kind of like calm and the confidence that comes with experience. So at the beginning, it's like, it's always good to kind of have fun with it, to like find a good balance between fun and seriousness. It's hard, but you gotta try.
Yeah, you had mentioned that it kind of evolves a little bit with the athlete,
Yeah.
Compare your mindset, your typical, mindset coming into a show and even performing at a show. Compare that to when you had first started. What are some differences, similarities that you've noticed throughout the course of your strongman career?
I think at my first show, I had so much fun. I wasn't, because I didn't have any expectations really about my performance, so everything was just, like the best. But then as I started to learn more about the sport, and you start to set goals, and, and you're just not there yet, so actually, like at the beginning, I was kind of like, I don't know, I was kind of like insecure and not super confident, because I wanted to be good, but yet I hadn't yet put in the time. I hadn't had the experience yet. So basically, like, I like to say that I thought I was the shit before. I thought I was shit before I was shit. And so like, and that took some of the fun out of it. And so at the beginning, like, beginners got to know, like, you just got to put in your time, especially in strongman, because you are learning so much. Just put in your time, and like, if you stick with strength, if you're consistent, it rises, like if it's not that, it's time and effort, and it happens. So, it's just letting the process happen. So I think I'm past that like beginner period where you want to be good and you think you are, but you're not, and that's like a beginner, insecure kind of thing. So I think I'm past that, but I had to like actively get past that. I had to realize that that's what I was thinking, and like, get over it.
So yeah, you had mentioned that you actively, have to, improve your mindset, and like you said, that just, sticking with it, continuing to build your strength. Pair that with kind of overall active improvement on your mindset. It proves just kind of overall competitiveness and your ability to perform when stress levels are high.
Yeah.
So I find that a lot of people may get stuck in a box of not improving, and I think it might be a combination, based off of our conversation here, that it's not only trying to improve your mindset as you go on and going through a reflection process, it's also having a plan that is systematic and that is not destroying you, which
oh yeah,
could be could be an issue for some people who just want to go balls to the wall all the time. So
yeah. Yeah.
But it's a two-part process. So coming into this show, what do you think are your strongest events? What do you think are your weakest events? And how do you think you'll perform overall? Based off of your training leading up to it and your past experiences with these implements.
All right. So,
I mean, I guess let's go through each event. Like, what are the events?
So, first we got a log clean and press every rep for 60 seconds. So the weight for this log is light, because I'm a middleweight, and they actually had to combine the weight classes because they're 4.5 athletes. So
you weren't always a middleweight, were you?
In USS weight classes, I was a lightweight for a couple shows. Now I'm a middleweight.
Why the switch over from lightweight to middleweight?
Because I gained weight, which is great. Because when I started, over 3 years, I've put on like a little over 10 pounds. So, and obviously I've gotten stronger. So competing in the 132s, I don't need to be there, and it would take away from my strength to try to get down there again, and I want to get stronger, and the weights are heavier in middleweight, so it
almost forces you to get stronger.
Yeah, absolutely.
To compete at that and focus on the objectiveness, which is just getting stronger in general instead of trying to make a weight class.
It's just not the weight class for me. I mean,
unrealistic.
Yeah, it's for me. It's unrealistic. It's not part of my overall plan. I mean, because I have the 132s. Every class is incredibly competitive. But for where my body weight likes to sit, and for the numbers that that I want to use in a contest, it's not the place for me. But yeah, so I'm a middleweight in this show. And the log is pretty light, because for weight classes there's usually ranges that are in amateur shows that are expected for different events, and this log is pretty light. So it's all going to be about speed and smoothness. Just going for the entire minute. It's going to be a rep out.
How many reps are you looking to get? How many reps would you be happy with?
I don't know.
I guess.
I don't know. As many as it takes to win.
5 reps?
Oh, I expect at least 10.
10 reps.
At least 10, yeah.
And that's touching the ground every time?
Yes. Yep.
Right.
Yeah, so like I said, it's speed and smoothness and efficiency, because the weight isn't really a factor. So it's still going to be as competitive because you're trying to win. Yeah. So.
Excellent.
Yep.
Second event.
The deadlift is a Axial deadlift on tires, so that means it's going to be higher than a barbell height. It's going to be like 15 inches. Reps in a minute, up and down commands. The weight's 315, which is pretty good. Pretty good. I really don't know how many I'm going to hit.
Yep. Just recently, you hit 315 from the floor, I think, for the first time earlier this year, or was that last year? Or?
Oh, that was, this year. Yeah, this year I've been lifting from over 300.
Yeah, multiple reps, I believe.
Yeah.
I saw some of your training videos.
Yep. Yep, my deadlift strength has been growing. I've always been pretty good at repping deadlift because I've done it a lot as a strong woman.
Yeah, you got a pretty good hinge there.
Got a good hinge, natural hinge. So, but elevated deadlift is a good amount of back. There's going to be a good amount of reps, from me and from other people. So that's going to be fun.
I expect you to get at least 15 repetitions. I've seen you at shows before with your deadlift, and you're pretty damn competitive. So
Thanks. Yeah, 15 would be. Got to get at least 10. Yeah. We'll see.
Cool. Next event.
I can't remember if the yoke or the farmers is next, but I guess I'll talk about yoke.
So carrying.
Yoke, 60 feet, 400 pounds for the middleweights.
And that's pretty much a walk in the park for you, right?
It should be. We'll see how it goes today. Yoke, it's an event where my technique has still over time I've been adjusting it. I've been improving. I don't think I'm super competitive in it yet, but we'll see how it goes today. But 400 is, for middleweights, it's really not heavy. Not heavy.
Now 400, is that focusing on speed or just overall strength, or the combination of both? Like,
yeah, it's both. It's both because it's not.
It's right in that middle part of speed and strength for you.
Yeah. It still should be a fairly fast run to be competitive. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how I stack up. That's what's gonna show me where I'm at. You know, like I know I have improved, so.
So you're thinking anywhere from 9 to 12 seconds for your run.
Oh yeah.
You had to place a number on.
Oh yeah. I would love around 10 seconds. Because in training I hit 375 for under 10 seconds.
Yep.
But you never know. I don't know what their yoke is gonna look like. It's on turf. Yeah. So we'll see. I just hope to have a smooth, steady run. Yeah.
Alrighty.
Farmers to front carry. The front carry is a Husafel, 60 feet each.
Which you're not a stranger at. Is that a correct assumption?
To what?
The Husafel or the farmers.
So I've done quite a lot of farmers in competitions. I like farmers. My last meet, it actually gave me trouble because my shoe hit the implement, so I kind of stuttered and tripped, and didn't expect that, of course. But this weight's a little heavier, which is good. It's a pretty good, it's a decent weight. It's 160 per hand.
So that will kind of naturally slow you down a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
So your footing will be a little tighter.
Yeah, and it depends on the implement, but it's still a weight that I should be able to move pretty quick with. And then with the Husafel, I have never done. Typically, Husafel is done for max distance, and this is of course for speed. And so I've never actually done that in a contest. I've done front carries for speed in a contest, but that'll be cool. Yeah. All right.
What is your max? Like what type of weight were you using with the Husafel, and how much weight is Husafel at this event?
The heaviest Husafel I've ever carried was 200. For distance, and in this contest it's 180. So it's heavy.
It's up there.
It's up there, yeah. It's which is good. Yeah.
Excellent. I believe we have one more event.
Last event is a stone series. 4 stones loaded to a platform. The first 2 stones are set a little bit of a distance from the platform, so we have to carry the first 2 stones, load them, and then the last 2 stones are at the platform. So I think it's a really cool variation, because in like big strongman shows, a lot of the time they do have to carry the stone, and a lot of people, the people who train stone, the people who train strongman, they get really fast at a stone series. Like in my last contest, it was a stone series, and we were all so close to each other. We were like less than a second apart, and it's like, so not having to carry it should add an element of, putting some distance between competitors. So, but I still hope to be very fast with it. It's going to be a lot of fun, but I know they're new stones, so they're going to be probably a little slick and powdery. So that'll be, I'm excited.
And do you use any sort of like, are you allowed to use any sort of special grip aid at all with those, or is it bare hands? Like,
yep, you're allowed to use tacky, you're allowed to wear a grip shirt, you're allowed to tape your arms, so I'm doing all of those things.
what is so do you think you'll have, like, what is your strategy for having enough sticky stuff on you for that last stone, or do you think that that's not going to be a problem?
I'm gonna put tacky on my chest and on my upper stomach, and I'm gonna of course have tacky on my hands and arms, but you know that a lot of it might come off after the first 3 stones. So I'm gonna keep a glob on the back of my wrist to hopefully quickly reapply some tacky if I need to. So I'm gonna be wrapped up and sticked up and prepared as I can be.
So you'll be able to go around and give people hugs after you're done, right?
Yes, I'm gonna.
Right.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, do you have any other final thoughts on the show that we haven't went over, or any other additional thoughts that are not related to the show, maybe related to strongman, or just training, or anything in general?
This show's gonna just be so much fun. I always love watching strongman, of course. So I'm gonna try to do some watching, because you know, anytime you're watching, you're learning, you're picking up things. But you know, it's always interesting to see other athletes and how they perform. What, you know, if they have like different techniques, or if, you know, like, it's always great to see people struggle but like stick with it. You know, the people who have that like fighting spirit, you know, even if they're maybe not winning, but they're, you know, really sticking with it and they're doing great for them. That's always so great to see in the sport. And so I'm excited to, like, you know, compete and be focused on my stuff, but watch other athletes, and yeah, so I'm just gonna have a fun day all around.
Okay, so you're gonna have fun, you're gonna be supportive, you're gonna enjoy the atmosphere, just enjoy yourself.
It's time to play. It's time to play.
Time to play with those implements.
Play. Yeah.
Alrighty.
Thanks, Chris.
This is Chris from East Ave Barbell interviewing strong woman Lauren Arsenault, also a coach at East Ave Barbell. Signing off.
How do I turn on?
Hit the button.
On the top?